Siinä Drake, I'm ready for you, Spin FM:llä Jukan News Talk käynnissä kello 14.35 ja me ollaan saatu aivan spesiaali vieras tänne studioon. Miss Prissy suoraan Los Angelesista, tanssia ja laulaja, myöskin sanotaan Queen of KRUMPiksi. So you're listening to Spin FM and we have a very exciting and special guest here in the studio right now. Queen of KRUMP, straight from Los Angeles, dancer and singer. Miss Prissy is in the studio with me. Hello girl, how are you?
What up?
Yeah. So before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and your backgrounds and let like everybody know who is Miss Prissy.
Well, for those that don't know, Miss Prissy is the Queen of KRUMP. I was discovered in 2005 in a film called Rise. It was a documentary by David LaChapelle, which documented the style that I am one of the founders of, which is called KRUMP. I grew up in Los Angeles. I dibble and dabble in the arts, creative, fine, performing. Been in the arts since I could remember. I think since I was like in diapers.
Yeah. And we have also Rory here in the studio with us.
Yes, hello. Okay, no, I was going to actually say that, like, well, owing to the efforts of the Helsinki Urban Dance Week, what we have here is that basically we have Prissy, Miss Prissy, Queen of KRUMP, but ironically relegating Miss Prissy to the role of a KRUMP dancer would be a great disservice to her scope as an artist. Because not only has this virtuoso dancer reinvented her own genre by infusing it with subtle nuances garnered from the world of ballet, but she's clearly proving herself to be a singer of the highest caliber. In fact, to call Miss Prissy a brilliant dancer with ambitions to sing would give a false impression, since from what I've noticed, her proficient technique as a singer, coupled with the alacrity of her vocal tone and her ability to write, marks her as an up-and-coming major soloist. And I really do say this with all sincerity because I've heard her do a cappella, I've checked it on YouTube, and it blew me away.
I'm speechless. Wow, you just made my day. I appreciate that. And you have no idea how. Wow. Thank you.
No, but I was really, I was actually fascinated by the fact that also that the dance scene, the KRUMP itself, which I've noticed is like a derivation and a mutation of this clowning.
Yes. That
happened. What I noticed in the film is that not only you, but also the fact that all these people were totally overlooked until, you know, LaChapelle just inadvertently dropped in and did a film on it, which was crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought it was a crazy moment in my life because, you know, growing up in South Central, when you see anyone outside of, you know, African descent or Hispanic descent and you see them coming into your neighborhood with cameras, you think, like, what's going on? You know, like, we were all, you know, at first standoffish, but one of the other characters in the documentary, Lil C, he was the one that brought David to South Central to document us, and it was just a breathtaking experience. It was overwhelming at first, but I embraced it. It was amazing.
Okay. Yeah, and I've also noticed you put such a distinct signature on the way you do the KRUMP itself that has very little to do, when I'm watching it, it has so little to do with the way other people approach the whole dance. I've noticed a lot of people since you have picked up some of your stylistic devices, but I think almost all the things that I've noticed from beforehand, even in Rise, it stood out a great deal, especially there because no one there yet was that familiar with your style, so it was like very, very personal, you know. I mean, you must have been doing a lot of other dances beforehand.
Yeah, I didn't, it's so crazy, and you guys may all be weirded out by this. I grew up in South Central, which is like the illest part of LA. It's like, you know, I grew up on a block where they shot boys in the hood. Like, that's as hood as it gets, you know, but my mom is from Central America, and she never let me indulge in anything that was going on in the hood. I went to school in North Hollywood, and my entire life I indulged in ballet.
Yeah,
you know,
and Miss Prissy.
That's where that comes from, exactly. And I think right when I got out of high school, you know, I told her, like, you know, I really want to get into hip hop, and she was like, "What?" Like, she looked at me like, all the money that I put into you traveling all over the U.S. and competing in ballet, you want to do hip-hop? You want to do hip-hop? And I was like, yeah. And, you know, I don't want to say I abandoned ballet, but I definitely found a way to, you know, intertwine it within my hip-hop culture now.
Yeah, well, also I think that not just the flexibility, but the isolations and the ability to move different portions of your body, different rhythms and timings, that is what really blew me away because it looked like it's almost like a physiological, visceral understanding of what the music was saying, and then a kind of dialogue with the music in some sense. So that
I like to look at it more so as a folk tale than dancing. Like a lot of people now, like I was talking to a dancer in New York. His name is Storyboard, and he said something that hit really hard. He said, you know, a lot of dancers are forgetting that dancing is communication.
Right.
A lot of dancers aren't speaking anymore. And that's real. Like, they're just getting out there and they're YouTubing the dance. They're not researching it and they're not trying to find a home in it. They're renting dance. I feel like I own dance.
Right.
You know, and I think it's really important to own what you do. That's why I took the initiative to embrace hip-hop and study it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a crazy experience.
Yeah, well, I've actually heard dancers that have not even anything to do with hip-hop. Like, there was a company in New York, Stephanie Bland, very, very talented choreographer, and her dancers actually mentioned you. There was a dancer who she had who actually said, like, and they studied the movements that you were doing, and that's a dance company, like, with a ballet modern background, so you're quite known.
Wow. Wow, I mean, I'm very humbled by all the, you know, people that do look up to me because, you know, I never thought that something that I helped pioneer would take off to the point where I'm here in Helsinki. Like, it's crazy. Like, whoa. Like, here I was in South Central dancing in somebody's backyard, and now I'm on a radio station talking about something that's now global. It's crazy.
Yeah. What do you think is the secret of your success in the dancing industry?
I think the secret to my success is keeping God first. I mean, I stress that a lot. And being humble is the most important. Like, you can go along in this world and you can grab all kind of things. You can learn how to sing, you can learn how to dance. But as long as you're not boastful with it, as long as you are not, you know, wearing it on your sleeve like, aha, this is what I've accomplished. You know, I don't really, you know, try to walk around like that. I feel like more so anything that I try to speak a message to the youth, like, you know, embrace who you are and what you are, flaws and all. Like, and I think that that's what keeps me grounded. I embrace, you know, my imperfections, like, because I'm not perfect. Who the hell is? Like, you know, but I feel like that's what keeps me successful. Like, I'm not trying to be like Sierra. I'm not trying to be Beyonce. I'm trying to be Priss.
I hear you write as well.
Yeah, I do write. So that's one of my hidden talents. I don't really like broadcast like that, but I do write a lot.
So what kind of material, like poetry?
A lot of people don't know I write a lot of treatments. I write a lot of scripts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, I do a lot of that. I have a huge imagination. I think that's where that comes from. And I do write a lot of music, poetry. Right now, because I'm into directing, I do a lot of treatments right now for artists and just stage plays and things like that.
Okay, what kind of treatments have you been working on?
Right now, I don't know if anybody knows, but 2012 September marks the 10-year anniversary of KRUMP.
Right.
And so the way that I'm giving back to celebrate that is I put together a live stage performance at USC in Los Angeles. It's called Underground. And what I've done is I've taken dancers from New York, dancers from Chicago, and of course dancers from Los Angeles who all represent underground dance. I noticed I didn't really like pinpoint KRUMP because I feel like KRUMP had its moment, you know, in 2005. There's a lot of dances in the U.S. that aren't documented, that people don't know about, and I felt like coming from the street.
And they're still coming from the streets.
And they're coming from the street. So I went and I researched. And I grabbed what I knew, you know, and I'm putting together a stage show that celebrates underground hip-hop dance.
How is that, by the way, when you go into different areas that are not from your own region?
Yo, you know, it's not hard. It's not hard because I'm from the hood, and it's obvious. It's like, okay, no, she's not a gimmick. Like, she's from LA. She knows what she's talking about. Like, when I went to New York, I went into, like, I was in Bed-Stuy, you know, in some serious areas, and my friends are like, yo, you just out there like you just know people. And I'm like, yo, to me, a hood is a hood. You know the code, it's an unspoken code. You get in, you get out, and that's what I did.
Yeah. That's interesting. So what kind of material have you found there that really made you, that fascinated you yourself?
Broke up. ruck-up is a style that comes from Jamaica. It has a lot to do with urban dancing, like flexing, like bone breaking. There was a couple of gentlemen that I ran across, Ghost and Storyboard. He does a style called Mutation, which is basically an like kind of back spring or offsprung from Ruck Up, and his style is amazing. I documented him, and it's just amazing to see how these kids have no training, but it looks like they've been in A League. It's crazy. It's crazy. Sometimes it's just a talent that can't be taught.
Have you ever considered, by the way, this is a little bit off the topic, but have you ever considered going to the BAC, this Baryshnikov's Art Center, because they are constantly in the search for new, especially this kind of a compendium of different styles that you're gathering from different places.
Wow.
I think it would be really interesting.
Well, thank you for putting that in there. I think I should research into that too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it sounds fascinating.
Thanks.
Yeah, and you have also been in tours with a lot of top artists in the world, like Snoop Dogg, Madonna, and The Game. So, what is the best thing about being a dancer in the tour?
I think I know a lot of dancers are going to kill me for saying this, but being on tour wasn't the highlight of my dancing. I think the highlight for me, like everybody was like, "Yo, what was it like dancing for Madonna?" And I was like, "Yo, you have no idea." Growing up in South Central, like black girls don't really look up to her. I was like the only one, and for her to, I've seen people stand in line for hours trying to audition for her, and for her to seek me out through Rise was just crazy. She taught me so much that I'm still applying today, and beside that, I think my greatest experience ever in dance was I got a chance in 2009 to go to Rio de Janeiro, and I taught in the favelas. I think that's really cool. That was the best part of my experience in dance. Like, the kids had no money to exchange, but we exchanged KRUMP for capoeira, and it was dope. Like, their studio wasn't the greatest, but who cared? Like, their energy was amazing. Like, it felt real. It felt really uplifting. Yeah.
I've noticed that when I'm watching those like music videos, whenever they have any kind of like singer that's there, I'm going like, why am I watching 3 minutes of a dancer of a singer dancing in an extraordinarily mediocre way, and quick outtakes of some virtuosos. But it's crazy because obviously when there's a woman involved, who's a singer, she doesn't want the dancers to look better than her who are female dancers.
No
so there's a lot more. That's what I've been watching.
Well, I can tell you this. I didn't have that issue with Madonna. I can tell you this. Out of all the artists that I've worked with, she is definitely the one that made me feel just as important as she.
Okay, but that's great.
Yeah, like it's crazy because you hear all this crap about her, like, oh, Madonna, she's really, and I'm just like, a woman of that stature, she has all right to be. She came from nothing.
Yes, that's right.
And now she's this huge, universal icon. Like, people on other planets probably know about Madonna. Like, and for me to even like grace the stage with her, I mean, I feel like I've done it.
Well, you didn't look all that shy about it. I've seen what you did. So it was more than grace the stage.
She put me up to that.
It was great.
I wasn't trying to do all that. She brought me out like that. Like, I want you to just be like this fierce Naomi Campbell, straight hip hop gutter, runway model / I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Well, you certainly ate it up.
Thanks.
So, you are also spreading your wings in music, so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I have always sang my entire life. Like, my father's a singer, and that was just one of the other things I did with my Saturdays. Like, my entire life, like, I wasn't one of those kids that, got to hang out. And I'm not mad about it, but my entire life was based on the arts. Like, Monday through Friday, I did ballet, tap, jazz. Saturday mornings was piano, and after that was vocal lessons, and then after that was back to dance. So it's just like, I kind of waited until Rise came out for people to get to know those other parts of me, because my mother was like, don't rush the gun, everybody is focused on you as the dancer. Let them get involved. Let them feel that, and then bam, you hit them with, yo, I sing. Yo, I rap. Yo, I play the piano. What you want? So it's like, now it's, you know, making that transition. It's scary because a lot of, you know, dancers, a lot of artists, I should say, you know, that sing and dance. They usually do one better than the next, or can barely sing but can really dance. And a lot of people have told me, like, wow, you've mastered both, and that's crazy. How did you find time? And it's like, you know, just perfecting that craft, just staying grounded in the art, you know.
That's a passion, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're very passionate about these things. So you have a new mixtape coming out in August. So tell us about that. What kind of songs is in the mixtape?
Well, the mixtape is definitely, a lot of people are like, yo, you're like a new school Lauryn Hill, because I rap and I sing, but I could never, I mean, she's my idol. Like, I look up to her in so many different ways. A manager that I had when Rise was out, he also managed her, like real estate properties and things like that, and it was just crazy to know that I was a heartbeat away from her, you know? But I feel more so that I kind of look at myself as being more like Jill of all trades, and I definitely bring that out in this mixtape. I'm showcasing the fact that I can produce. I'm showcasing the fact that I can sing, playing with pop music, electro, disco, rapping, singing, dance hall.
I think that's a unique.
You're gonna rock.
It's also a thing that I think has come its time. Because it's a unique precedent that was set already just very recently. Because it wasn't a long, you know, period in history when there were like upcoming people like Azalea Banks and Janelle Monáe.
Love her.
So these are very, you know, the idea of cross-genre material is new, and it's like, and obviously that's your background.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning stages, like a lot of people don't know, I didn't do the second leg of the tour with Madonna because I had, you know, got a chance to meet with the president of Sony just based off of one song that I played at Kiss FM in States, and they were like, they didn't know what to do with me because I knew how to do too many things, and so they were like, you gotta pick one. And so now that I see that it's okay to be multi-talented, I'm taking it a stab at it.
So what is it that you think that your first foray with music is like infusing stylistically? What styles?
Well, right now on this mixtape, I'm playing with which is what is big right now, electro, and I'm also playing with a lot of, you know, hip hop. Like, and I'm not talking about like the hip hop that we're listening to today. I'm talking about like old school, like Talib Kweli, Mos Def, like those artists, because they inspired me. That's who I KRUMP to. When KRUMP first, you know, hit the scene, we weren't dancing to Kanye. We were dancing to Dipset. We were dancing to freaking Graph. We were dancing to like just underground hip hop, and I feel like that scene needs to be brought back. So, you know, on this mixtape, I'm collabing with I don't know if you guys know him, Technique from the LBC crew. You know, and and you know, I've been working with him. I have a whole album with him. You know, and everybody was like, well, what made you do that? I'm like, because I gotta stay true to where I'm from. Like, I'm from LA. I'm from South Central, where hip hop is in the vein, you know. So for me to not have that on this mixtape would just be crazy.
What I was going to say was what really surprised me, and that's I think a very, very unique thing that obviously people shouldn't forget, is the fact that, okay, I expected a great deal of rhythmic ability from someone who dances, which is obvious, but it wasn't just that. It was an extraordinarily gorgeous tone. I have to restate this again and again because the tone itself was really beautiful.
Thank you.
But hey, we got the song Dan Boogie right coming next in Spin FM Radio. So tell us a little bit about this song.
Okay,
we're gonna hear.
This song is produced by Coty, and he is a local producer here in Los Angeles. And this song is featuring Technique and Walter French, straight coming out of Los Angeles.
Yeah, let's hear it. Miss Prissy, Dan Boogie, and then we continue.
For sure.
Ota vähän siihen monitoriin ääntä.
Hey, my work friends are here. Oh, let's hear it.
se mikki vaan paska, kun se blokkaa ton naaman koko ajan. Niin.
Joo, siis pitäis saada kyllä. Pystyisikö tuota vaihtaa vähän ylemmäs tota kameraa?
Ei sitä nyt oikein saa mihinkään. Älä turhaa lähde tekemään. Se on nyt paikalla. Ei vielä ole mitään.
Joo, jotenkin silleen alhaalta.
Dressed like I'm 18 and grind like I'm 39. Don't crack that, get feel like turpentine. So dead, get circles round lanes, rap bars, not presents, got a voice so magical. Abracadabra, my pen game, cold ice pick, I stab it.
Yeah.
Grab the mic that I still show, and I came to let the hands know. Let's go. Trust the bang bang boogie. Trust the rhythm to the beat to the boogie to beat. To the boogie to beat. Rock it to the boogie to beat. Rock it to the boogie to beat. Rock it to the boogie to beat. Cold T, check me. Prissy.
Miss Prissy Bang Boogie of Spin FM, and Miss Prissy is also in the studio right now. Ra. So that was the song, and we are gonna hear also another song from your
That was
mixtape.
one cool song.
Yeah,
I
that
really
was,
liked it. It was also like
that was
humorous and
amazing.
ironic, which is, you know.
yeah.
Thank you.
I really love your music.
You?
Yeah,
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm gonna play your music
Oh,
now on. Yeah, you gotta have to send me some songs.
oh
more.
heck yeah, I got you, honey. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you.
All right. So, what kind of music do you listen, and what artists do you follow
I
nowadays?
am an old school junkie.
Yeah.
Is that bad? Is that bad? I love
Not
old school
if it
music.
develops into that. It's
Yeah,
not
I
bad.
like old school music. Like, my favorite artist of all time, of course, like I stated before, is Lauryn Hill. Second to her is Brandy, because I feel like she is the most underrated superstar. Like, her voice, I've never heard anybody. Her tone is immaculate. Like, a lot of people look for perfection, like, you know, like clean riffs and things like that, but the passion just bleeds through her voice. Like, I've never, ever, ever heard an artist of her caliber in my life. Like, of course, Beyonce. You know,
Yeah.
she's a Virgo like me, and she's a multi-talent. You know, as far as like female rappers, of course, I do love Nicki Minaj. I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty. I love Nicki. I love Foxy. I love Lil Kim, The Brat, Eve. A couple of like new school like rappers I've been listening to that aren't even on the scene. This girl named Lean Dean from Philly. Like,
Alright.
she's ridiculous. Like, I was just like, whoa, I was blown away when I heard her. But yeah, I like a lot of old school too. It's crazy. I'm not picky. I like I love Madonna. Pink Floyd. Is that bad?
No, no, it's not.
Like a Pink Floyd?
Yeah, I
Phil
I
Collins.
used to listen to Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
very
okay.
much younger.
Yeah, I like the Cranberries.
Yeah, Cranberries. Me too.
It's like this black girl from
Yeah.
Finland. What's she doing?
An Irish band. Why not?
Yeah, but I'm open. Like, I'm wide
Yeah.
open for music.
Yeah,
Wide open.
yeah.
Well, you have a kind of, you basically must have been listening also to classical and jazz and things like that when you grew up, because you've been
Absolutely.
dancing ballet, obviously.
Yes.
They weren't
Yeah.
doing back to rap.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, crazy. It's crazy that I'm blown away still that I'm here in Helsinki, like on the radio, talking about my life. Like, whoever thought that my life would be this interesting to where I'm in another country. I'm still
Yeah.
blown away by that. It's a humbling experience. Every moment I breathe it in, and it's just like, it's happening.
Is
Yeah.
that part of what you also want to do within the rap that you're doing and the hip hop that you're doing and the singing that you're doing, is to bring in your life, the story?
Heck yeah. You know, like, I'm not perfect. I can't stress that enough. Um, when I was younger, even till I want to say like even when I was in college, I used to have this complex about myself because I wasn't picture perfect. People used to make fun of me because of the color of my skin and my smile. I have a gap smile, and I'm fine with that now. Back then I used to hide. I would put my hand over my mouth if I would laugh too loud or you know. I hated the fact that I was bow-legged. I hated the fact that I was skinny. But now I look at all those things and I feel like those things that society made me feel like were imperfections are all things that make me perfect now.
Yeah,
And
of course.
I just want everyone that ever felt like they weren't beautiful to understand that anything that someone has ever told you made you flawed, made you fine. And that's what's about to happen through my music. Like all the flaws that you see on me, I'm gonna bring out in my music, and you're gonna love it, and you're gonna respect it, and you're gonna want more, and that's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah. So, Helsinki Urban Dance Week is on right now in
Yes, it
Helsinki
is.
Center this week, and you are also part of that. So,
Yeah.
what are you looking for the most of this week?
Well, I came out here open, because I know KRUMP is only 10 years young, and a lot of people really still don't know about it, and I'm cool with that. But just the last couple of classes that I've taught, the students, and they embrace the culture. Like, they want to know not just the dance, but they want the history. They're like, yo,
Yeah.
like, what, where did this come from? Like, how? And I'm just like, yo, the ultimate, everything comes from Africa. And I feel like with KRUMP, it is definitely African based. Like when you look at it, like the constant chest palpitations that we do, that's definitely straight stemming from the motherland. And I feel like history just repeats itself. And I feel like instead of calling myself Little C, Tight Eyes, and Miho the creators of KRUMP, we just found something that was always there. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
that was the most fascinating thing when I was watching Rise.
Yeah.
Was the fact that all those all those allusions and associations
Absolutely.
towards that to Africa were really inherently there, and
Exactly.
it wasn't superimposed. It just came by nature.
Absolutely. And, the youth that's in KRUMP now, they tend to question, well, who created KRUMP? Because we hear this person did it, and my answer to them is this. You can't create something that is already here. Like,
Right.
God is the creator. He created it all. That's first and foremost. And I feel like we were just the chosen vessels. That's it. Like, he chose us to steer the rocket ship. That's just how I look at it. And I'm
That
glad that I
sounds
was
really
chosen.
Yeah.
I still have to go back to one thing because it really
Okay.
because obviously you're a very very creative person. Also, like you come up with a lot of new ideas. You were talking about like you were writing treatments
Yes.
and stuff like that. So you are now trying to put together like all the new scenes that are going on in dance in general,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just in KRUMP,
Yeah.
but all the things that are being born all over,
Absolutely.
and bring them into the context of one film. And then you wrote a treatment for this, or
Yes. What I did is I did a spin-off of the stage show that I'm doing at USC, and I created a documentary called The Underground alongside with 5 episodes of just dance, and it's just street dance. I took some kids from Chicago who are part of the Footwork Kings, which is a huge dance scene in Chicago, and I documented them. And I wrote a script. I was like, look, this is what I want you guys to do, but I want you to interpret it with your style of dance. Boom,
Right.
they did that. And like I said, storyboard from New York. I gave him a scene. I saw him dancing in a competition to Elton John. I think the song is Indian Sunset.
right.
And I flew him to LA. I was like, yo, I want you to do it again, but this time I want you to do it in LA, and I want you to do it downtown in front of like this wooden carton area. He killed it, murdered it.
Yeah.
And then I took a couple of KRUMPers, and I kind of did like this whole like KRUMP, excuse the slang, KRUMP ain't dead kind of feel,
Yeah.
where they were all kind of carrying like a briefcase to get it to me, and this huge briefcase, it's an envelope that says like something in it. I will let you guys know because it's gonna come out soon. But I don't know. I feel like at this stage in my life where I'm at, I've been KRUMPing since the beginning, 2001, and it's 2012, and I feel like I've already made my stamp as the queen of KRUMP in the dance, and I feel like it's now my turn to show people how a queen reigns, because my legs are going to give out one day. So I got to show the ability of my mind now to show that even though my legs may give out, I can still be creative and I can still own it. So that's where I'm at right now. That's when the treatment writing and stuff
But
came
that's
up.
interesting because this is more than a documentary in that sense. It's actually like a feature film spoken in dance.
Yes, and I'm shooting it to Sundance in July. So
that sounds
I'm
fascinating.
extremely excited. My partner, Exclusive, which is another krumper, he's a cinematographer, and it's crazy. Like we've been grinding. Like nobody's helping us fund it. I'm doing it all by myself. Like whatever it takes.
Yeah, because it's like very, very few times that I've seen that way films that were totally like. There's a lot of nuance because the best films in dance so far have either been done like by Spanish directors doing tangos and something like that,
Exactly.
like telling different kind of stories, but using basically like urban dance to tell a real story is still rare, even in American.
I'll tell you what's more rare: a dancer creating a dance film. And I feel like everybody was like, "Yo, this is gonna be dope," because you are in front and behind the scenes. Yeah. You know what's up, and I'm like, no. I was like, I think it's even deeper than that. I think what's dope about it is I had a chance to work with David LaChapelle, so I saw exactly what to do.
You said you studied.
Yeah,
watching
I studied.
Carefully.
Boy, did I study! So it's like looking at what he did, and I'm not on his level, nowhere near. Hopefully one day, I will be, but I saw what he did, and I'm gonna master that and create my own version of that. And I hope that...
Also, his life should be a testament to that, because here's the guy who started from doing commercial advertising photography.
Exactly, and he just blew up and did a film. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, great transition.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what are your next, big steps in music and dancing thing? What is going on right now? And
well, like I said, I'm doing the thing at USC to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of KRUMP. We're doing that. Alongside that, I teach globally. That's my biggest thing. Like, I'm not really trying to dance for any artists right now because I'm perfecting my tools right now. Yeah. And I feel like anything outside of what I'm doing right now to perfect my tool, I don't want to say is a waste of time, but it's not a part of the plan. Yeah. So, definitely doing that. Like I said, writing scripts, directing. I really want to get into acting. Steven Spielberg, if you're out there and you're looking for a girl like me, you're looking for a girl like me right here. I'm also a mom, so I'm raising my daughter, and I'm raising her to be a superstar as well. Even if she doesn't want to get into what mommy does, she's still going to be a superstar, whatever she does. So I think that's my main focus right now. And as far as music goes, just continuously pumping out jams. I'm not, everybody's like, yo, you need a deal. And I'm like, right now it's not about getting a deal. It's about letting the people hear my voice. Let them hear what I have to say. Let them hear my message.
And we're going to hear it now. The next song is going. It's Promise You Won't.
Yes. And this is a song that I did with Technique from the LBC crew. This song, it means a lot to me because I was in a crazy place in my life when I wrote this. And I think our voices match really well, and we told a great story with this song, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Oh, cool.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Prissy, and have a nice time in Finland, and everything good for you and your career. And tell your brother hi from Jutta. Big Miho.
Yes, Miho. He gonna get it. He gonna get it when I get home.
Yeah. All right. So, this is Miss Prissy, Promise You Won't. Thank you again, Miss Prissy.
Helsinki. Thank you. I was admiring your watch. I want to see this. Oh, Dolce. I knew it. I knew it. I love like big face watching. My mom is like, it's too masculine. I was like, what's wrong with that?
Exactly. Let's take a photo of you.
Yeah.
I'll just post them on the Facebook.
So I'll think on that.
Just let me know how far you want to take this.
Yeah.
Some women want it. Some women
Yeah.
Let's take a bit on the right side so we get a nice light.
shake that ass, girl. I'ma chase this paper. Just get up on that pole and promise you won't let me go. Promise I won't let you go. I'ma just recline ya. Know you with hair in China. She think I'm a bullshit. Meet me at the diner. A John's barbershop. I need me a liner. I be with you to my time.
We out here, ladies and gentlemen. Hood dreams do come true. Shout out to everybody in LA. Shout out to everybody in the States. We in here. I'll drink to that.
So how long are you staying in Helsinki?
Till Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, I leave, I think, Sunday morning.
Should we include her into the pilot for the TV show?
Yeah,
Let's do a new show.
that would be really cool. We're doing an SNL kind of show.
Oh,
I had
dog.
actually worked on regular SNL in New York when I was
Aha.
still 20. So we're trying to do some kind of a comedy and urban music show together, but like a more fresher version.
Okay.
So yeah, that
It
would
would
be
be nice
brilliant.
to get you on the insert.
Do it.
Yeah.
I'm
For
with it.
Sunday. For Sunday,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I only do stuff at night. My classes are all late at night at 8. And so I'm free, like, other than that. Oh.
Cool. Just drop me an email and I'll get your contact email. So.
Yeah. I'll do that as soon as I get back to the hotel.
Okay. On Facebook, how do I find your personal Facebook so that I?
Yeah.
And my name is Rory Winston.
Rory Winston.
Yeah.
Now, you can't add me because I have, like,
Okay. Yeah.
you can always
Okay,
Facebook
right,
me
Rory.
and write me.
And then if you have a regular email also.
Wait.
They do articles also for one magazine in New York called New York Resident,
Okay.
and then also for Village Voice. So
Oh,
it's
dope.
like I would like to anyway do a piece on you.
Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go.